Hey guys, how's it going? I am bringing you another brand new video of a race that I did actually this past weekend. So this is not part of the Prairie State series videos that I have been bringing you this past week. But this is a race from this past weekend. It was the Wooddale Crit. It was actually the Illinois State Criterium Championships for ABR. It's American Bicycle Racing, so it's not a USAC race, but it was a really good race. The race was not very well publicized, which was kind of a shame because the course was really enjoyable, and the riders that did show up made the race very enjoyable. It wasn't too stressful. There wasn't a lot of breaks being grabbed through corners. There was some not so successful break attempts, but it made the race made it a fun time. So as you can see up in the corner, the course isn't too technical, but there is this short little right-hander into a tight uphill. Um, it's not a bad uphill, but it did take some energy to get up through this part of the course. If you do notice while you're watching the video, I do not have a heart rate during this video. This is because I actually lost my heart rate monitor a couple weeks ago. So hopefully the next race I do, which will be Bloomington, which is in about 2 weeks, will have a heart rate again, but right now this video did not, so I apologize for that. So we just finished our first lap here, and you can see it was rather uneventful, just kind of speeding up, keeping our pace up pretty high. But for most of the race, this was about our pace, 23-24. I believe our average was about 23 and a half. So this guy launches an attack, and I noticed it right as soon as he started to go, so I decided to try and cover it. This other rider in front of me grabs on his wheel, and I'm pretty sure right away the group was on our tail again, so it wasn't really worth pursuing. So I just kind of sit up, and the rest of the guys kind of sit up, and we just, get back into the pace line, go back down to the pace we were at, because there's really no reason, if we got caught immediately, to try and push it again. And my goal, I didn't plan on doing any kind of breakaway work in this race. So my goal was just to kind of sit in, and throughout the whole race, actually, there were 3 or 4 break attempts, and I think I hopped onto the wheel of almost every single one of them. Just because I wasn't planning on making a breakaway, but if I saw one that looked like it might have been successful, you have to decide to try and jump that. So right here, my teammate actually tries to go for a break. Jim, he's a super strong rider. I knew he could put in an effort if he needed to. And you see these 3 riders grab on as well. And I looked back when he went, and we had a little bit of a gap. So I grab onto this guy's wheel, and we still have a gap right about here. But coming around this right-hand turn, the group catches up to us, and so we just kind of maintain the pace we were at. Jim is a huge workhorse. He's awesome, super strong rider, super excited to have him on our team. And he just kind of slowly sits up. He doesn't push the pace, and everything comes back together again, which again I was okay with. I rather enjoy doing a field sprint. I feel like it's the easiest way for me to win over something like a breakaway, where I have to put in a rather large sustained effort for a long time. So I grab on this guy's wheel just to kind of, get out of the wind. The wind was coming from the front and left on this part of the course, so as much as I could, I tried to stay to the right. You can kind of see here we picked up the pace a little bit. There wasn't any preems in this race, but throughout the race it just kind of spiked. And you can actually see right here, we were going about 30, and somehow, for some reason, a car got put onto the course. That's not a pace car. That car's not supposed to be there. Luckily, no one hit it. Everybody was able to communicate that there was a car on the course, and we all avoided it. And it didn't make any decisive breaks in the group, which would have been a shame if that was the reason that there was, some sort of winning breakaway, just because there's a car that's not supposed to be on the course. So we go up the hill here, everything comes back together. You can see everybody is kind of slowing down a little bit. Um, that was kind of the name of the game this race. We really weren't putting in huge efforts, um, other than maybe on this side of the course, which had the wind to our backs. And I believe right here, I move up and because I see these two guys up ahead take off, and I figured, well, they got a pretty decent gap, so why not try and get up there? So I put in a decent effort. You can kind of see I'm starting to coast here. And when I catch up to these guys, we still had probably about 7 or 8 bike lengths. So I communicate that to these guys, and the spokes rider was all about going, and I was okay with that. So we put in a pretty good effort, and we still had a gap. But the third rider that was with us kind of slowed up, and that allowed the group to bridge back up to us, which was a shame because I was feeling really good at this point in the race. I look back right about here and communicate to the lead rider that we had been caught. So again, we just both kind of sit up, and you know, I get pushed to the front, which was fine. The race was slow enough where I was comfortable just kind of sitting here. You can see I'm not putting in much of an effort, if any effort at all. I'm really just kind of slow pedaling, taking my turn at the front, but not really wasting any energy, which was kind of my goal here. So after our group came back together, this is on the front straight here again. You can see this rider on my left kind of looking over. And there's another attack. It gets covered pretty quickly, so I wasn't feeling too stressed about it. I knew that I was going to be able to get onto these guys' wheels here and not have to worry about anything. I think it was about this point in the race where most of the riders realized that a breakaway wasn't really going to happen, so it was kind of pointless to put in an effort to try and get a breakaway going if just every time somebody went, 5 or 6 guys were going to cover it, because the guys that were in the race were strong enough to bring something back in right away, and everybody was kind of antsy. Add to that we again weren't really pushing the pace too much, and just kind of puts everything back together in the group. So like I said, we come back together here. My goal, again, just stay towards the front, get on a wheel, don't do any more work than you have to. I felt really confident on that hill as well, something that is weird for me to say because that's not usually something that I am too confident with, is climbs, even if they're small climbs. So here I am on my teammate Jim's wheel. This is 2 or 3 laps to go. I know that he's going to start winding it up here in a little bit, so I just get on his wheel, and I know that as long as I can stay there, I have a good draft. I have somebody to launch off in the sprint. I trust this guy to my right, Ryan, super strong rider, knows what he's doing in the pack, and so yeah, I felt pretty comfortable at this point in the race. I was ready to go. I know you can't tell because I don't have my heart rate, but my heart rate wasn't particularly high. Um, I was really confident coming into the last couple laps of this race, which was a welcome change, I would say, from the last couple races where I was kind of unsure of myself. So again, you see one of these spokes riders in blue kind of attack off the front again up the hill. It was a decent move, but he just kind of immediately slowed down as soon as we got through that corner and started to try and play games, which, I mean, I can understand why he might have done that, but if he was going to put a move in, he should have just put his head down and attacked. And you see his teammate attack right there, and just again, everybody in the group covers it. It becomes these 2 riders in front of me, the guy that attacked and myself, and we had a couple bike lengths on the group, and then coming around this corner, really, it just comes back together again. You can see this rider up front start to slow down drastically as we catch up to him. I don't know if that's because he realized we had caught up to him or if he just didn't want to put in an effort again, but I just grabbed the wheel of this guy in front of me, and keep the pace up so that I don't have to immediately slow down. I do get pushed towards the front again. You can see my game plan again, just slow down, don't put in any more effort than you have to. I definitely slow pedaled it up this hill here. You can see our speed is down to 18 miles an hour. My goal was really just to get the group to come around me so that I didn't have to sit on the front, especially towards the end of the race, because like I said, this was about 2 or 3 laps to go. So it does end up working. A couple riders come around me and I do get a wheel to sit on, which is exactly what I was trying to do. And so here is coming into the bell lap. Again, this is the final lap, and you can see our speeds are much higher than they were for most of the race. My teammate Jim is on the front pushing the pace. He's a diesel motor. I love getting behind his wheel, so that's really what I was trying to do here, was just try and get in the best position I could. These two guys in the blue, his teammate was blocking for him pretty well, and I was having a difficult time getting up into the draft. So I do fall back a little bit just in order to get on a wheel through this headwind on the back half of the course, because I didn't want to put in a super hard effort into the headwind. So I just grab a wheel, try and stay in the draft as much as possible, and I know that I'm in a decent position. Obviously I'd like to be a little further up, especially if I could get on my teammate's wheel, but that doesn't happen. We go into this corner at a pretty decent click, and I'm able to maneuver around a couple riders here, and then I put in a decent effort on this hill just because I knew that I could pass maybe 1 or 2 guys. And then coming into the final turn here, I decided to take it wide because I saw everybody going to the inside, and so I take it wide, I grab this guy's wheel, and I really just start to try and put the hammer down. And I had a pretty decent sprint that day. I was able to get on that wheel, catch my teammate, and I really thought I was going to catch this guy up front, but I just ran out of pavement. So, yep, came in second. Felt pretty good about that overall. It's not the top step, but it's a podium finish. It's the best finish I've had all year. So after this end right here, I have a little finishing video that my teammate took of us. There I am. Hope you guys liked it. I'll see you next time.